Usually when you buy a car, it comes with an ad that kind of lists mods and service history and owner history and why they're selling. And sometimes it even includes a power figure with a supporting dyno sheet, just like 2 EVO did.
Today we're going to find out whether that dyno sheet is anywhere near accurate.
Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods. We've got 2 EVO. Is that its name now? Or is it 2 EVO?
Yeah.
We've got 2 EVO, which is the successor.
We can actually call it an
Too
EVO.
Sexy. Well, it is a real EVO.
So it's the
first
EVO.
real EVO we've had on the show.
Yeah.
Even
Except
though
for
you're
Twisted.
Well, and your EVO 10.
We should put our 2 together. Oh, the EVO 10. Yeah, we're not going to talk about
Anyway,
that.
as we were saying, this is the first EVO that we've had on the show. And Martin, I do believe that this one came with a dyno sheet of 280 kilowatts.
It did come with a dyno sheet. It came with a collection of papers about that thick, receipts for kind of like the last decade of this car's life, including a lot, unfortunately, of repairs of broken engines, turbos, gaskets, fuel pumps, just everything you can possibly think of. So it's sort of like a nightmare of owning a modified car. And the condition arrived to me in, I jumped in it, felt really fast, good. As I drove it home, started to notice some more and more check engine lights and other issues going on. Then we went to the track, felt a little bit down on power, going up the straight. And then when we finished the track, suddenly it had sort of a weird sound going on.
Yes.
So today is a bit of a investigation to find out what kind of power this thing's actually making and why it didn't walk away from this Golf like in theory it probably should have.
Yes. There's a bunch of conspiracy hat going on, hat cat down in the YouTube comments, which is a treasure trove of informative data, speculation and fact, or not. But what's interesting about this is a lot of people were saying that if a Golf's making 160, 170 kilowatts of the wheels and that's making 100 more, then why is it that the cars are just going up here at the straight kind of in a really similar level? It's a very good question and one that we decided for your sake and for ours to investigate. So we're down here at Haltech. Today Tuning Fork is going to be checking out the car. Of course, he's an EVO aficionado. He was my, I was going to say he was my helper, but we worked together on Twisted. I was kind of more his helper. EVOs are his bag. He's had a lot of experience with them. He's tuned thousands of cars. So today we're going to do a deep dive investigation and see just how much power this car makes, why it's not making enough power or why it is making enough power. And at the end of the day, we'll know exactly what we're working with and then we'll have a bit of a strategy of how we, my friend here, how we are going to work on this car together.
To fix it.
Together. As mates.
Yeah.
And then later on work on the Golf together.
Yeah.
As mates.
That'll be fun.
Because we're friends.
And we can have like some
They said they don't like when mum and dad fight.
Oh, we don't?
No, but they thought that it was all serious.
Should we just get Scotty?
Hey Scotty, let's do it, man.
Let's work it out, man.
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
G'day, Scotty.
Hello, mate. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm fantastic as well. Thanks so much for finally bringing a real EVO. And to that, I know everyone's got their thing, but to me, mate, EVO 9 is the last real EVO. Like 10's awesome and all of that stuff, but
it's the one.
Yeah.
9, the real driver's car.
And the awesome thing about doing this today is once this is gone and you're done, then we get the Golf down, which I know you're pretty pumped about as well. Right?
I am.
Yes.
I like the Euro stuff. It's just different. Where like with this, the driver input in this compared to the Golf, you probably end up with a similar car. Like power, or in a standard form, similar power-wise, handling-wise, similar-ish.
I mean, it's not about the EVO versus the Golf. It's only interesting because you used to have a 400 kilowatt Golf, right? Oh, it was an EVO.
Does that even exist?
Oh, that's right, it was an EVO. Does it even exist? I think everyone knows the Golf will smoke this eventuly, but it's not a competition. We're friends and we're working together. So let's fix the broken car.
I'm glad for you that it's not a competition, mate.
Well said. Oh, Scotty's on my side for once.
Finally. You finally bought in a good car.
Yes.
I'll take that.
A good base, which amazingly, this is like, it looks really nice in the bay. Like it's clean and tidy and neat.
And what's incredible, this was car sales sort by cheapest, shittest car. This came up.
Huh.
It was, right? The cheapest one you
could get. It was cheapest car and blue.
Yeah. Excellent.
I wanted a blue one.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
All right, what are we going to do? Can we just run it? Because it's like we can talk all day, but can we just run it?
We don't know. Well, we've got all of the stuff that you know, sort of what's done to it. So all we can do is just run it up and give it a bit of a health check because it's a new car, and anything that's performance modded, it's best to do a health check first because you have absolutely no idea where it's been, what's happened to it, what sort of power it makes. So if we just give it a health check first and then give you a shopping list of things to service it and just to keep it healthy, because someone's obviously loved this. Like it's
someone spent money on it. And the other thing we've realised is because I ran into the old owner, so I bought it off the guy who owned it, then I met the owner from before that, and she gave me all the details about the two people that owned it before her. So I think I'm number 5, right? So I was able to go back and they had all the receipts from day one. So I've got like how much the turbo was, what kind of turbo it is, you know, how many oil changes it had, how many different tyres, sets of tyres it's had on it, how many times it's been retuned, which is at least 3 times. It's had a fuel pump in it, but it probably needs a new one. Like I think the one that's in there is not actually able to support the power figure that it is potentially making, and I know all lots of dynos are different. So the rumour is it makes 280 approximately at the wheels.
There's a dyno sheet of 280, right?
There's a dyno sheet,
When's it dated? Like, is that recent?
That's a good question, but I think it's within the last 2 years.
Okay.
And it hasn't really changed since then. It's been E85 only for a long time. But I also noticed, especially particularly after our track day, that it's got exhaust leaky sounds, which makes me think we're probably losing some power somewhere in here. And so again, this is
somewhere in here. It appears to be losing some power.
I understand that you generally don't put your car on the dyno if, like, you know, there's something that you've got to fix. I'm almost certain that we're going to be doing gasket, manifold, something up here. But this is also the form that we raced it in, and I'd love to know what the start point is, and that will hopefully inform what we do next.
makes sense. I think it's a really good idea. It's
also got some kind of aftermarket ECU in it, but it looks like it's in the factory case. So it's not like an aftermarket. You know, it's like it's a board replacement or something. So I don't know, and I don't have the cables. I don't have information. I got nothing.
A couple of manufacturers do that, and I like it. I think it's a really nice way to package stuff, and I'm sure that we'll end up doing something like that in the future at Haltech.
Yeah.
But let's just first get a bit of an idea of what's going on. We'll put some external stuff on it.
Yeah,
so
cool.
I'll put the map sensor off the dyno in it, so we know how much boost it's running.
Yep.
We'll measure the air-fuel ratio out the back.
Yep.
And then we'll just really start from there, and I suppose figure out what it's doing. And I'm kind of hoping that it's making the big power.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it, but it still feels fast. It just, again, these things feel fast anyway because they're so sharp. So you drive, you're like, whoa, it's really quick, but is it 280 kilowatts?
It feels like 218 kilowatts.
Yeah.
280 is pretty, like it is, that's good power in an EVO, like it feels awesome.
Yes,
so
okay.
I would hope that 280 in this, you would say, yeah, that's one of the quick, like the snappiest cars you've driven.
Yes.
Is it one of the snappiest cars you've ever driven?
It's the sharpest car I've ever driven in my life, and it's nothing like a 10. And Supergrams makes between 260 and 280, depending what tune's in it, and that feels fast. But it's not sharp because it's a big family wagon, right? Yeah. And that feels powerful. This does not feel as fast in a straight line currently, but I feel like it should feel quicker if it was making 280. So we'll just have to wait and see.
While you've been chatting, I'm just having a look just to get a bit of an idea of what the sensors are set up and what's going on.
Yep.
I can see an aftermarket air temp sensor there.
Yep.
Stock O2 sensor, so there's no wideband stuff going on.
Yep.
It's got Bosch, probably 1000s, I guess, in it.
Yeah, that
something
would make
like
sense.
that.
Yeah.
And then, because that's the high impedance injector, I was looking at the Mitsubishi resistor pack that's been deleted over here.
That's what that is.
So that makes sense.
Right. Okay. Slowly decoding.
It's got maybe a...
It does have a hose that runs through.
Yeah, for the ECU or for a boost gauge or something. That's where we'll put our dyno on as well, just to check the boost pressure there.
Cool. So this is more your traditional sort of like power run rather than tuning, isn't it? It's just measure
it's just a bit of a health check, but super tastefully done in like stock radiator. Yeah. Works really well. All the covers are still on and everything's all clean.
Yeah. That's been loved.
Yeah.
It's just there's something going on. So let's work it out and make it fast again. Definitely won't be using that. Scotty, did you buy your EVO new?
I did. I bought it brand new from Parramatta Mitsubishi.
Yep.
And it was...
That must have been 60 grand or so.
I was quite young and it was a lot of money. I really wanted a blue one, but there were none left. And that was it. It was, do you want a yellow one or do you not want one?
Or do you want no one? Yeah.
And I said, yellow one. And then I drove away in a yellow one.
And then
I don't mind them.
How long until it had 400 kilowatts though?
Oh, that actually did take a while.
Did it?
I drove it from Parramatta to Wetherell Park and then put a Haltech in it, and it went from 150 to 220 kilowatts at the wheels, give or take.
That's good power.
On the first day of owning it.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, within the first week or so, and then...
Because that's what our Focus RS makes with like intercooler, exhaust bits, intake. That's good power.
And then from there, I did quite a few, maybe 5 years like that, and then just popped that engine out, put a 2.4 engine in, and then it made 400 kilowatts for probably the next 5-ish years, give or take.
Wow. Oh, so you had it for a decade.
Over 10 years, yeah.
Wow.
Long
that's
time,
awesome.
eh?
That's
I like to keep
time.
things. I don't like selling cars.
Yeah.
So, but man, this is very comfortable, very nice.
Well, lucky for you, Scotty. I like selling cars. Maybe you need a blue 400 kilowatt EVO one day.
There you go. Or right now on eBay, if some dickhead still hasn't paid, Twisted is still available if you want an orange EVO. Let's spin it up.
I'm keen on the blue one. Oh, there is a huge exhaust leak.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to look at here, the engine check light, when you turn the ignition on, 1, 2, so that's like a code.
Yeah.
So here we go, code for...
There you got 3, 4, 5. You got 5 as well.
Cam control, oil pressure out of range.
Awesome.
2.5, high speed input 2 missing for cam control. This could have no variable cam control.
Ah. Is that cam sensor likely to be?
Could be.
Because it's got cable ties and stuff on it.
EVO cam sensors, I used to have 2 in the glove box. For the front one.
Really?
Above the exhaust manifold, they just all the time, super common.
Ah, well, we've already learned something today.
So
Very good.
Could be as simple as that.
Has no cam control.
Maybe. That's the code we're getting, so...
You can hear the exhaust leak, right?
It's a John Deere.
Sounds like a tractor. Aircon and everything.
So much comfort in here. You'd be reasonably comfortable back there as well, I guess.
Look at that. That's really good.
Your Recaro style rear seat, very comfortable.
Excellent.
Aircon's on.
I've got E85 under one foot, some spare parts under another,
Typical
a helmet
EVO.
down there, and a box of receipts here. It's a real Mitsubishi.
EVO 9, what do you need spare parts for?
Well, you just said I need spares in my glove box.
Oh shit, I didn't do that. It looks nice. And we're making 17 pounds.
Okay.
17 pounds.
17 so far at 3.5 grand.
Right.
And
What
the
do these
mixture-
run? Low 20s as well?
For boost?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a stock one. Stock's a bit funny because they put a big boost spike in them so that they get
Oh, right.
Like an overboost.
homologated as that's their maximum boost
Yeah,
pressure. That's
okay.
very clever.
For rally.
But 22 seems to be the number that's not
Okay.
that most people tune like the factory cars to.
Yes.
And they probably settle down at like 16 to 18 pounds
Right.
factory.
Yep.
Does sound good.
Yeah.
It's loud, that's a good sound.
Yeah. Was that starting to hear some funny wastegate stuff then?
That's all right. You can definitely hear the exhaust in a big way.
Yeah, okay.
And that's running like mid 12 O's, and we're talking about petrol AFRs.
Yeah.
We've already talked about the whole ethanol thing.
My guess is 218 kilowatts, by the way, Marty. What's your guess?
With an exhaust leak?
As it is, right now.
Yeah.
As driven and as
I don't
raced.
reckon it'll crack 200 if it's got an exhaust leak. We're losing boost pressure.
Hilsinger, in its current form.
223.
All right.
Let's try this. So we're in 4th gear, full throttle. Ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Why not?
Go.
Rod's out. What'd it make?
Made good power by the looks of
Did
things.
it? Can't quite see
good
the top of
power.
that scale.
270 kilowatts at the wheels.
Why does it feel slow then?
I think we need to start talking about the excuses on the racetrack and do something about them.
Oh yeah.
Can I put something out there?
Sure.
And I'm not even taking the piss, and this
No.
isn't even for my vag friends.
Do it.
I think we learned that the Golf is 10 years newer and super capable. I think it's just technology. I don't think it's power.
Yeah.
I think the disparity between the cars is technology. It's not you and me. You and I are very similar drivers. You know, the comments can go crazy. We've had similar experience.
I want to just give it 3 pulls because
Sure.
at least that way we're kind of in the ballpark and that's it.
So
what she
exhaust
said.
leak. So exhaust leak.
Exhaust leak doesn't do
Doesn't
it
do
doesn't
much?
sound good. I don't think it does that
Oh, cool.
much.
All right.
If it's after the turbo, it does nothing. If
Of
it's
course,
before it does something.
Yeah.
But
it's still not going to send all its power out a little hole.
the amount of air that we're talking about, it's not even
Cool. All right. Well, that's good then.
Is it possible that the car can run in a kind of a limp or a safer mode if it gets to a certain temperature or certain conditions?
It definitely can.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Well, that's the next question
So,
too.
we'll
Do you
give it a
reckon
couple.
it wouldn't make those numbers with broken cam control, would it?
Outright power it would, it'd lose
okay.
down low.
Oh, okay, because it's not changing the profile.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's just go again and make
That's
sure
good news,
that
man.
wasn't
Like,
that Luke.
That's really good news.
Run 2 of 3. Consistent.
About a couple of kilowatts more on that one.
Cool. 360 horsepower.
It should rip. All right, last one.
Spot on.
Is that shooting flames?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely would be.
Cool, 270. All right, so slightly less, but that could be a dyno thing or a temperature thing.
What was the claim?
280 or
280.
285, I can't remember. I think it was 280.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got, the mixtures are really nice.
Yep.
It cruises pretty good and all the mixtures are kind of in the right area. So
Yep.
overall, I'd say done nicely. You got what you paid for. It's within 10 kilowatts is non-event.
Do you think it's possible as well that if that cam control thing is an issue, that would affect low-down drivability in terms of bucking and
for sure.
filling around?
Yeah, so what that'll do.
Possibly, because what I'm trying to get at as well, like, so that's the same power as Supergrams, right? Exactly.
Right.
So it's interesting for me as well to drive 2 different cars, 2 different kind of engines, different power curves. Oh, but one's a station wagon and one's like a...
No, we need to do this in Supergrams at the track.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because then we get 2 cars, 2 different styles of cars with the same power.
The same power. So here's my question, Scotty. If the cam control thing, potentially that's a drivability issue, does that make it slower?
It would, yeah. You'd lose your bottom end grunt. So
That's what it feels like.
where you're making.
Because when you do rev it to 11T,
Yeah.
it comes on, but it's everything in between, and then goes, you know?
Where it's making 20 and 30 kilowatts, it
Half throttle.
could be making 40 and 50 kilowatts.
Okay.
And that probably makes sense. But overall, the boost control is really nice and comes
Yep.
up. So it's got 22 pounds of boost.
Yep.
And it comes on really good.
Is that 22 pounds? We only need 22 pounds because we're on ethanol, right? Because to make that, you couldn't make that power with petrol on 22 pounds. Do you think?
Nah, you'd be pushing it. It would be a pretty big turbo.
Right.
And it wouldn't be as responsive as this.
Cool. The car makes roughly the same power as claimed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has a low down drivability, so I'll investigate this cam triggering thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a tuning cable for this computer. So what I'd like to do is put an Elite in it, because then I
Yep.
can plug my own laptop in, I can fiddle it around, set it all up, you can tune it using all your gear, because currently we can't tune anything. I'm sure you're capable of it, but we don't have the stuff to do it.
For sure. So it makes sense that it's definitely not. It's not to say that the setup that's in it now is not capable, because it is.
Yeah,
and
well, it's
whoever's
working,
tuned
yeah.
it has done a cracking job, and it's really nice.
Yep.
For us to go further with what we want to do,
Yeah.
and if we get just Altec ECU in it, because that's what we do,
Yeah.
and then
Plug it
start
in.
pushing from there. You can help us with some development stuff.
Yep.
I can help you with some tuning stuff. With any
Awesome.
luck, we can help each other with some proper rally anti-lag and some.
Make all the noises and the flames and stuff.
And then with all of the Euro fanciness in the world, he won't have rally anti-lag.
Yeah. Mad. So what's the target then, Scotty?
Depends on what you want to do, but I've already had one that makes 400, so if it made like a little bit more than 400, you'd be, oh, that's pretty impressive. 6-speed box, right?
Yeah,
This is
sorry.
Yeah.
Fours.
Yeah, mine was 6-speed and lasted forever.
You didn't did you launch it on the regular?
Pretty hard.
Okay, cool.
It used to do, when you do donuts in them, how it spins from the gear stick.
Oh.
So the next time you're on a dirt road or in a grass patch or in a wet skid pan, you can just go second and just put it in hard and hold it flat, and it'll end up spinning straight in the middle.
Oh, really?
It's
Right
the
there.
weirdest feeling, yeah. So I know that, which means that my 6-speed got a hard time.
Yeah, and survived.
Yeah.
400 kilowatts?
I love how you're looking at me like for permission.
400 kilowatts?
One of the awesome things that you've
Hashtag
got,
400 kilowatts question mark? Are we going there? We've never done that before. You
it's
have.
pretty big.
We've
Like,
never done that before.
No, we've never done that before.
That's next level.
You've got
But
the right
based on
car.
these numbers, a 400 kilowatt EVO would be about as fast as a 250 kilowatt Golf.
I hate to admit it, but you could be onto something there.
So maybe there's something in that.
Oh, that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not good.
I don't know. I'm
Maybe-
just
did you
I'm just that
defeat-
guy in the back seat who pops forward every now and then and goes, but man, and then just gets back again.
Does this just show that maybe it depends on the track as well? Like at Eastern Creek,
Oh, maybe, yeah.
a longer track, would you have just mowed him down?
Absolutely,
Look,
he would have.
gearing,
Yes, absolutely.
Gearing,
Yeah.
semi-slicks, like all these other things variables. So like we are not race car drivers, don't claim to be, but you can start getting into that. But in terms of like our little world of tuning this thing to make it fast, 400 hashtag 400 kilowatts question mark. It's just the answer that needs to be answered. 200
Thanks, Scotty. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for watching. The car's not broken.
It's not broken.
It's also not a vag.
and also, it
that-
definitely needs
yeah.
some kind of manifoldy gasket thing going on. So
We got to fix that sound.
we're
We
going to
gotta
fix
that
that.
smell.
I'm going to throw a different exhaust at it for two reasons. One, the one we've got now I think sounds like absolute arse. It sounds nice when you're in this situation, you up it, but from driving it for more than 10 minutes, it sucks. It's so loud and ugly.
And on that, I'm going. Thank
also,
you.
It's,
Thanks for watching, everyone.
It's
Bye.
currently
I'm out.
3 inch, and the hotness for going big numbers is 3.5, right? If you can.
3.5. If we can get 3.5 with a nice muffler, so it gets
Yep.
rid of that. It's like the racy noise, because you're going
Yeah.
to drive this every day, like.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so update exhaust, fixed exhaust, manifold leak things, potentially just a new stock fit manifold.
Yeah.
To try and chase a few more kilowatts. That turbo I think will go to about 350.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, is the rumour. So potentially that turbo can stay for a while, and then it's
Well,
engine.
I suppose then you've got to decide what you do where this package is obviously working. Like 270 is like, it's good numbers.
Yeah.
So whether this engine and turbo and that setup comes out as one,
Oh, I see.
as a makes sense, because
Yeah.
like I would be interested in this motor to say, well, it's proven.
Yeah.
You just pay the money, you have 270 kilowatts in that combo.
Yes.
And then you're not doing it like redoing
Understood.
something that somebody else already wants.
Yes, that's true. And it's only 15,000 k's old.
And
It's almost new.
it's 2 litre, right?
Yeah.
So you might need to, or you might want to make a decision.
About capacity.
2 litre, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, 10,000 RPM,
Big
7,000
blocks.
RPM.
Big block. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, there's a lot to think about.
Does love a big block.
There's a lot to think about. I'm gonna drive this home and think about it. And next time I see you, we should do some Haltech goodness for fun and for science. And by then it won't have exhaust leaks and it'll have a nicer exhaust and everything. So by the time we're doing that round, I think it'll be a bit more fun
Ready
than just
to sort of figure it out.
yeah, with no
Man,
leaks or anything
It
dodgy
is.
going on.
Man, congratulations. It is.
Thanks, man.
A really, really nice car.
It's exciting. It's exciting to drive.
yeah.
And on that note, thank you, my friend.
Onwards.
He already left. I don't know where he went, but anyway.
He was upset when he saw the power.